Hi, I'm here with Danny Moss Jr. Hi, Danny.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank
Good
you.
to see you again.
You too. How has it been in Swansea so far?
Oh, it's been a knockout. Nice. This gig was with Simon Spillett, who I've had the pleasure of playing with many times in the last couple of years, including with my dad, the great Danny Moss. And we did a bit of touring, and we also made a nice recording with Danny, Simon Spillett, myself, and Martin Drew. And Mike Carr was on the piano, and John Pearce on a couple of tracks. So we're waiting for that to come out, and that'll be exciting. But it's always fantastic to be in Swansea. The people are marvellous, and there's a big history here, going well back. In fact, my dad has been coming, or had come to Swansea and Wales, in South Wales in particular, for many years, and way back into the 60s. And in fact, he became such a favourite son down here that he gained a nickname Caraddoc, which apparently is an old Welsh king, and they called him that right to the end when he passed away a couple of years ago. But there's been some wonderful sessions at the Swansea Jazz Club, which is now known, I believe, as Swansea Jazzland, and we've had the pleasure of playing here many times, and so many friendly people here that I know from years and years. And it was a real storming session tonight, and we were very glad to get a standing ovation. It was a real buzz. It was a nice one.
Oh, brilliant. So you live in Australia?
I do, yeah. I live in the west side of Australia in Perth, but I do look forward very much to my annual trips. I love coming back to Britain, play with a lot of my friends and people that have become friends and colleagues. Some of the great players in the country. It's really a buzz to play with them. And the other thing I love about coming back to Britain is the beer. I'm right into the real ale, and I miss it in Australia because all they really got is lager, and I just don't like it. So I drink Guinness out there, but over here the real ale is something I just look forward to, and so I drink too much of it, but it's because I can't get it over there. But yeah, I do look forward to that.
Well, that's reason enough to come back to the UK.
Sure is.
So you come here once a year, do you?
Come here once a year, usually for about a month, maybe sometimes 6 weeks. This time I think it's 5 weeks. Some of the tours I did with my dad Danny Moss and my mum Jeannie Lamb ran into three months plus. The last tour in fact was 4 months long. We went all over Europe and played some great festivals and venues, and again a real privilege and a thrill to be playing with great players, and there's no better feeling.
Okay, so your dad, as you said, is a saxophone player, and your mum is a singer. So why the bass?
I've always been in love with the bass, sort of the heartbeat of the group. Loved the sound, loved the propulsion of the great players, and the sound, that resonance of the strings and the wood. In a jazz group, in a good rhythm section, the bass is just always was a standout thing for me. I just loved it. It sort of struck a chord with me, and then I soon started getting my favourite players to listen to. My favourite of all is the legendary Ray Brown, and I was very fortunate to get to meet him and to spend quite a bit of time with him out in Chicago in 2001. And I was already very inspired by him on records, but to get to know him as he became someone I could really call a friend, and just a man of just immense talent, and the things he did with the bass were just phenomenal. He is my greatest inspiration, but there are other great bass players that I love. Christian McBride now, another guy I'm lucky enough to know quite well. He's a great guy and just a brilliant virtuoso bassist, and just the greatest living bassist by far. But Ray is my god, if you like, and I feel him every time I play. I'm just hoping that something from him will come out when I'm playing.
Wow. So who else have you played with?
Who else have I played with? Well, I've played with a whole load of great players. Over here I've played with Tony Coe, with Scott Hamilton, Simon Spillett, the great Martin Drew, the drummer who played with Oscar Peterson for 30 years. He's just left us. He actually probably would have been doing this gig tonight with us. That was the idea. So it's a very sad thing that he's gone. And I had a huge buzz playing with Martin Drew, because Martin, he played alongside Niels Pedersen for most of that 30 years with Oscar Peterson and or with Ray Brown. So he was playing with those kind of guys, and so to be suddenly the bass player not in those shoes exactly, but you know, you're sitting there next to Martin playing with other great players in the groups. That feeling, that sound that he had of playing with the greatest guys at the highest level, well, you know, to get that as a bass player, you're just not fighting anything drum-wise. It's just like a magic carpet ride. You just got this incredible sound and time thing that he had. And you know, as a bass player, for me, that's been the biggest buzz as far as playing with drummers. I've played with some great drummers, but playing with Martin was, you know, something that's just unforgettable. And I'm lucky that I actually got to record with him quite a few times as well. In fact, he's on the last album my mum made with my dad. So it's Ginnyland with the Danny Moss Quartet, and the album is called Clear Out of This World. It's just about to be released. Ginnyland, Danny Moss on tenor saxophone, John Pierce on the piano, myself on the double bass, and Martin Drew at the drums. So that's a very significant album now, with both Danny and Martin now gone.
Wow. Okay. So do you do a lot of recording?
I've done a fair bit. I've been working with Hank Marvin. Hank Marvin is the leader of the Shadows, if you like. Shadows and Cliff Richard, you know, the pop people, and a household name over here in Britain and across Europe. A very famous man, and he has a group now which I'm fortunate to be a member of. It's a quartet, and it's playing Django Reinhardt inspired music, because Hank's a great Django fan, and Hank is actually a marvellous player, and it's quite intricate technical music, and he plays it very, very well. And the group is quite an exciting group, a lot of intricate arrangements, and we've been doing a bit of touring out in Australia sort of region and in the eastern states there, and hopefully we'll be coming to Europe in the next year or two. And there's a recording sort of in the pipeline that's waiting to be sort of completed and finished, but we've done quite a lot of work on it. And when I get back to Australia, we're going to be doing completion of that album and some dates. So yeah, I really like playing with that group. That's a fantastic group.
Did you do any professional studying, or were you like learning on the job, so to speak?
I sort of did learn on the job, you know. I picked up the bass relatively late. Again, most of what I play, my dad used to say, you knew what you were going to play before you picked it up. So most of the concept was in my head anyway, and I just picked it up and got some little technical things down. I've never really formally studied the instrument, much to my regret. You know, I sort of proposed to get back into doing that, because I think it would be, you know, it's always good to have more under your belt. But a lot of the things that I have got down in that respect have just come from playing.
I know you've got one other brother. Does he play anything?
My brother doesn't play, but he's a very musical person. Very, very musical person. He can, you know, as my dad used to say, he can hear the grass growing. His ears are so good. He can, you know, sing you things from Debussy or jazz solos or anything like that. He's got a tremendous ear for the music. In fact, just lately he started singing and doing some sort of auditions for shows and things. So you never know, you might see him out there yet.
Oh, wow. What's his name?
Robert Moss. Robert Moss. Yeah, Robbie.
Okay.
I call him Robbie, but it's Rob. Yeah, no, he's a lovely guy.
Okay. So if anybody, you know, wants to know what you're doing, where can they get hold of you?
Where can they get hold of me?
For stalkers' purposes only.
Stalkers' purposes. Well, yeah, I don't have a website. So how do they get hold of me? I've just got an email. I've got an email address.
Okay.
That's about it.
Do you have an agent or a manager?
I don't know. Most of the gigs that are arranged over here, I really arrange through contacts that I've known for years, coming over here doing the gigs. People like these people at Jazzland, Dave Cottle and Berry and all the guys, and you know the gigs that we've done. So they know who I am, they know how I play, and so when we propose to put something together, they're like, yeah, that'd be fun. So you know that's really a lot of how it works, and then you put an idea for the group together, and you think how it might work. And for instance, tonight, you know, it was sort of an idea to come down with Simon and join Dave and his son, and it was quite a good team in the end, I thought.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, good fun. Good fun.
Well, thank you very much for speaking with me, and good luck with the rest of your time in the UK.
It's an absolute pleasure. Always a delight to talk to you.
Thank you.